All right, let's jump right into this explainer. Today, we're going to figure out how something as crazy as meticulously detailing a $1 sports card can actually lay the exact groundwork needed to build a massive tech-enabled brand ecosystem. Seriously, we're talking about connecting the absolute smallest micro details of a side hustle directly to the grandest macro visions of a business.
Here is our roadmap for today's zoom-out approach. Optimizing the micro hustle, streamlining your workflow, crafting your juice persona, building a hustle ecosystem, and finally, scaling with AI technology.
Let's start with Section 1, Optimizing the Micro Hustle.
To kick off this journey of scale, just think about the sheer volume of precise detail required for a card that might literally only sell for a single dollar. You've got to take crystal clear photos, snapshots of the front, back, and all four corners, pack the title with keywords, and break down the condition down to the last scratch. I mean, it feels like a massive amount of effort for a piece of cardboard that won't even buy you a cup of coffee, right? But honestly, this is exactly where the magic starts.
Now, why do those tiny details matter so much? Well, it requires a complete shift in mindset. A purely transactional mindset just says, hey, I'm just selling a $1 card. But an ecosystem mindset reveals what's really going on beneath the surface. You are building long-term buyer trust and visibility for eBay's best match algorithm. You aren't just taking photos of cardboard corners. You're deliberately engineering trust and optimizing for search algorithms. That trust signals you're a serious, transparent seller, and that is exactly what keeps people coming back for the long haul.
And even at this tiny scale, you can totally pour gasoline on the fire. You can accelerate growth by applying larger promotional strategies, things like using eBay's Markdown Manager for rotating sales, or even collaborating with micro-influencers in the card space. Applying these larger promotional strategies to something this small proves that absolutely no operation is too small for big-picture marketing.
Moving right along to Section 2, Streamlining your workflow.
So, stepping back a bit, organizing the wild chaos of a side project absolutely preserves your mental energy. If you implement a simple sorting hack, it stops you from constantly digging around. Step 1, sort everything by category or sport. Step 2, and I love this, it's incredibly clever, label your incomplete items as eBay drafts. Basically, these are just items sitting there waiting for a final photo or a bit of missing info. And then Step 3, you finalize them. By aggressively categorizing these drafts, you take a frustrating, messy hobby and turn it into a highly efficient, scalable machine. We actually see this exact workflow philosophy perfectly encapsulated in Project J05. This is a custom app to eBay's CSV converter that automatically maps out fields, effectively cutting down massive amounts of data entry time. It totally bridges the gap between your digital tools and your marketplace, and it proves that saving your time and preserving your mental energy is just as valuable as making an actual sale.
Okay, Section 3, Crafting your juice persona.
Zooming out even further, let's look at Project J01, the Dynamic Hustler Profile. Instead of boxing yourself into one single category, creating your juice persona means proudly owning the unique, adaptable mix of literally every project you've ever touched. It's all about crafting a bold personal description that fuses all your past projects together. This becomes the ultimate foundation for establishing a truly unique and versatile identity. Just consider the sheer contrast of projects that can exist under one single persona. Take Project J04, a sports card franchise. This is a full retail model mixing cards, apparel, and a youth wrestling community. And then contrast that with Project J07, Bone Crushers, a dramatic, slow-motion wrestling short film. When you look at how drastically different a retail sports franchise is from a slow-motion indie film, you really see how these seemingly unrelated creative outputs build a highly compelling identity. You are demonstrating massive range.
Which brings us to Section 4, Building a Hustle Ecosystem.
138. That number represents the total scale of the Hustle Hacks J32 motivational card deck mentioned in the source material. It's made up of 100 base cards, 25 rare foils, and 13 secret editions. What we have here is a tangible, physical ecosystem built entirely around the concept of motivation. But you don't just stop in the physical world, right? Enter the Juiced Up Fuel Meter, or Project J03. This is a web app that tracks your scanned physical cards, houses them in a digital vault, and displays a live fuel meter. By directly connecting those physical cards to a live web app, you're essentially gamifying your own sustained hustle and visually tracking your momentum in real time. And building an ecosystem isn't just about the external stuff like digital vaults and physical cards. Our sources highlight Project J06, Mental Triggers. These are mindset hacks specifically designed for collectors to manage spending, make smarter decisions, and control the internal game. Because at the end of the day, you have to protect your internal drive and psychology just as much as you optimize your external workflows.
Finally, Section 5. Scaling with AI technology. For our biggest zoom out yet, we reach the absolute cutting edge. Let's look at Project J08, Influencer AI Biz Plans. The whole concept here is generating AI-powered business plans for influencers and athletes using the Juice Playbook framework. This project brilliantly frames AI not as some abstract, distant sci-fi concept, but as an immediate, highly practical tool for mapping out complex strategic steps for your brand. It literally makes AI actionable today.
And this snippet perfectly illustrates that accessibility. It might look like a bunch of complicated code, but really it's just a simple curl command, basically a line of text that politely asks a server to do something. In this case, it's making an API call to the Gemini 2.0 Flash model, simply asking it to explain how AI works in a few words. That's it. You absolutely don't need to be a genius coder to start integrating tech into your workflow. You can literally just ping a language model to instantly amplify your capabilities.
All right, let's do a quick recap. Micro-level attention to detail absolutely builds macro-level trust. Streamlined workflows preserve your precious mental energy. A diverse juice persona prevents you from boxing yourself in. Gamifying your progress sustains your long-term motivation. And accessible AI dramatically accelerates your strategic planning. Whether you're taking super close-up photos of card corners or pinging advanced language models, the core lesson here is that successful operations run on a continuous loop of optimization and resourcefulness.
So here's the question I want to leave you with today. What seemingly unrelated skill or emerging tech could you integrate to build your dynamic hustler profile? I really challenge you to look at your own side projects right now and ask yourself how a tiny optimization, maybe just organizing a few drafts or sending a simple API request, could eventually spark your next massive tech-driven ecosystem. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer today, and keep optimizing.